This is number 181 and a very important place. 50 years ago, the International Institute of Jacques Maritain started just here. And I will just tell you the whole story. Hello from Rome. I am now in Via dei Coronari and a very important place just behind me. This is number 181. 181. Why I'm here is very important because the International Institute of Jacques Maritain started just here 50 years ago, and it is a building belonging to a charity organization called Pio Sodalizio Piceni. That means it's a pious friendship organization of the city of Ascoli Piceno. Ascoli Piceno is located in the Marche region of Italy, and in this region also the city of Ancona is located. Again, whole history of Jacques Maritain Institute starts in Ancona, and I will just tell you the whole story. Hello again, I am Mustafa Cenap Aydın. I'm the Vice Secretary General of International Institute of Jacques Maritain, which celebrates its 50th anniversary this year with an event in this week at the French Embassy to the Holy See, Villa Bonaparte. Now I'm bringing you to the birthplace of the Institute. Indeed, the first attempt to start this institute started in Ancona, where I visited just 1 week ago in Ancona. Why I was in Ancona? Because the founder of the institute, Professor Roberto Papini, who passed away very recently, he was our founder, and he started all this, the activities of the Jacques Maritain Institute with his passion, with his intellectual capacity, and with his deep knowledge of the French philosopher Jacques Maritain. He started the first meeting about the political idea, the political thought of Jacques Maritain in 1973 in Ancona, in his birth city. And then in 1974, he started this institute here. The first meeting of the institute, the association, organized here in Rome at the French Cultural Center, Saint Louis de France. Why is it important? Symbolically important, because the French Cultural Center of French Embassy to the Holy See started by the French philosopher Jacques Maritain when he was the French ambassador to Holy See just after the war, between 1945 and 1948. That's why it was symbolically very important to start the institute and the first administrative meeting at the premises of the Saint Louis de France, the French Cultural Center. Coming back here to the birthplace of Jacques Maritain Institute, and I would like to just share with you an important aspect of the institute, that is the studies on dialogue, on interreligious and intercultural dialogue. As you know, in his life, the French philosopher Jacques Maritain always engaged in dimensions of dialogue, interfaith, intercultural, interdialogue, with his personal history, of Raissa Maritain, his wife, but also through his friendships. Many of them, established in France, but then just expanded to the world, in Chicago, in Princeton, establishing bridges between different cultures and religions, and in intellectual circles. Maritain always looked for different cultures and religions to expand his horizon, his philosophy, especially his understanding of human rights and democracy. And that's why Jacques Maritain, as a philosopher, had several different correspondences, not only meetings with important people who are engaging with different religions and cultures. We can just remember one of them, Louis Massignon, the great expert of Islamic studies, who wrote the monumental work on Al-Hallaj and defended his PhD thesis in 1922. And the correspondence between Jacques Maritain and Louis Massignon, we see several references, not only to Islam, but Hinduism, and also different other religions. And that's why his thought, his understanding is very much related to interfaith and Intercultural Studies. As Jacques Maritain Institute, we published also extensively on the issue, especially for the 60th anniversary of the Human Rights Declaration of the United Nations. We published a book edited by Luigi Bonanate and Professor Roberto Papini together on the relation between intercultural dialogue and human rights to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Human Rights Declaration. Besides that, through our chair for advanced Mediterranean studies, we organized several meetings, several conferences and formations for young people in which we tackled the idea of interfaith dialogue, intercultural dialogue with distinguished professors from different parts of the world, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, and other religious backgrounds. And so they just expanded our horizon, putting together the idea of democracy, human rights, and the church and state relations through an interfaith perspective, and also involving the Mediterranean dimension as internationalists of Jacques Maritain, that we see the area of Mediterranean not only as a geographic area, but also we see it as a philosophical, cultural, and religious area in which we can talk about a Mediterranean spirit, Mediterranean understanding of peaceful coexistence between religions and cultures. Last but not the least, one of the important, again, achievements of Jacques Maritain International Jacques Maritain Institute in this 50 years, what we have tried to do, we tried to do collaborate for 4 years with Gregorian University, with Gregorian Foundation for a course called The Catholic Church and International Policy of the Holy See between 2007 and 2010 here in Rome, but also in Turin, in which also we enriched our program with sessions on intercultural and interreligious dialogue. As International Jacques Maritain Institute, we have been working for this last 50 years, 5 decades, to advance intercultural and interreligious collaboration and understanding. And of course, even in these times that we know and we are very aware that we should further and further our commitment to intercultural and interreligious dialogue with the ideas and philosophy and encouragement of the work of Jacques Maritain. Thank you very much again, and I'm just greeting you from the birthplace of International Institute Jacques Maritain.